The NFL is investigating Urban Meyer and the Jaguars after Urban Meyer said that people's vaccination status or players' vaccination status played a role into whether or not they were going to get cut. Now, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's a bad precedent to set. It's basically discrimination, I think. But I guess we'll get more into that in a bit. Let's get into the article. This is by Jeremy Layton from the New York Post. It says Urban Meyer admitted on Tuesday that players' vaccination status factored into the Jaguars' decisions as the team cut the roster down to 53 players on Tuesday. Everyone was considered, Meyer said. That was part of the considerations such as production. Let's start talking about this. Also, is he vaccinated or not? Can I say that was a decision maker? It was certainly in consideration. His admission didn't sit well with the NFLPA. George Atala, the assistant executive director for external affairs, told ESPN that they have opened an investigation into Meyer and the Jaguars. The precedent was set back in May, when Bills GM Brandon Beane said on the radio that he would cut an unvaccinated player because it'd be an advantage for the team. The NFL called Beane and stated a player cannot be cut exclusively due to their vaccination status. However, in Meyer's case, he stated that it was just a decision maker, and one of many factors that went into it. The NFL has much stricter protocols for unvaccinated players, protocols the NFLPA agreed to, which likely makes factoring vaccination status into roster decisions inevitable. Unvaccinated players must miss a minimum of 10 days if they test positive, and if they are deemed a high-risk close contact, they must miss 5 days even if they test negative. Vaccinated players cannot be deemed high-risk contacts and can turn immediately after 2 negative tests if they test positive. It's an obvious competitive advantage for the players to be vaccinated, and it has already played out that way in training camp. Cam Newton had to miss several days of practice due to violating COOF protocols, and he was locked into a QB competition, though Belichick insisted that it wasn't the reason he was cut from the Patriots. Bills receiver Cole Beasley and Isaiah McKenzie missed 5 days of practice as high-risk contacts despite testing negative. Even with the Jaguars, Josh Allen, team's best pass rusher, was forced to miss 2 preseason games while being on the COOF list. He hasn't revealed his vaccination status per ESPN, though he has worn masks to interviews, another requirement for unvaccinated players. Yeah, I think this is discrimination. I think it's completely wrong, and it sets a terrible precedent. Like, outside of sports, there was a woman who lost custody or wasn't allowed to see her child because she wasn't vaccinated, even though she couldn't do it because of a medical condition or something like that. That got overturned because of pushback, but still, if there wasn't any outrage, that would have probably stayed, at least for a while. So, I mean, it's just a slippery slope that's gonna go down a bad road if we keep doing this. I sort of understand why you would consider that, though, in the NFL, because the rules are so ridiculous. Now, for YouTube, I have to say, I'm not a doctor. Listen to your doctor. This is just my opinion. So, there you go. The vaccine does not stop you from getting it. It does not stop you from spreading it. So, it makes no sense that you'd have these different standards. All the vaccine really does is lessen the symptoms. It doesn't stop you from getting it or spreading it. So to have these different standards to this degree as well is insane. It just calls for discrimination. I think this happened in a lot of other places, but they're not going to say it. I think this is going to lead down a slippery slope again. I think this is just going to go to a place you don't want it to go. But what do you think? Do you think something should happen to Urban Meyer? Do you think you should be allowed to do it? Let me know. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Comment, share. I have another channel called The Thoughtful Outlaw where I talk about news regarding Marvel, DC, Star Wars, gaming, anything else in the entertainment world that I'm interested in. So, check it out if you're interested, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.